Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to show off my Scareclaw deck profile and talk about the deck, talk about the card choices, what I've included, what I've decided not to include. So let me touch on what I've decided not to include actually to start. So I've seen a lot of potential ideas for mixing Scareclaw with a full Kashtira package or with a Mana Dome package, and right now I'm staying away from those. I am playing some Kashtira stuff in this list, but I'm not going the full, playing Rise Heart and Kashtira Theosis, because in my opinion, if you're going to play that stuff, you might as well just play pure Cash, and it's going to be better than the mix of Scareclaw and Kashtira with the full package anyway. And then if we are talking about Mana Dome, kind of the same thing. I think Mana Dome is great on its own. Mana Dome with a couple Scareclaw cards is pretty standard, like Rykard and Arrival and Planet, but Scareclaw with some Mana Dome cards really doesn't give you very much of anything in exchange for just the inconsistencies that it introduces. So I'm going to show off the list that I'm playing. Recently I put out a combo video for Scareclaw. I've kind of cut down on the big combos a little bit, the ones that ending on Banisher of the Light or Jowgen and stuff like that. I kind of decided to cut that a little bit from my list because it was just making it a little too bricky, a little too limiting on the extra deck. Make sure you check out the combo video to see if you're interested in that. And then, yeah, we're gonna go through this list and maybe do a couple test hands just to show you what the deck can churn out. So, yeah, with that being said, let's hop on over to the deck list. I have a main, extra, and side for you. Of course, side deck is gonna vary based on whatever tournament you're playing and what your local meta is, but I have an example for a side deck here, and I'll talk about that a little bit as well. So let's check them out. Okay, so here I have the main, extra, and side. I'll go through those one by one, talk through the choices. I'm playing a 44 card main deck right now, but that can easily be cut to 40. And also, if you're playing on a budget, it's going to be very easy to cut it to 40 because there's a clear set of cards that you're going to want to take out. So let's go ahead and jump through the main deck here, and then we'll show off the extra and side. The monster count, we have 3 copies of Scareclaw Rykard. There's no reason not to play 3 of this, in my opinion. I see a few lists playing like 2 because, hey, you want to search it and summon it later and get its effect. I mean, it's much better to just open it, first of all, and it's the best one in your deck, the best Scareclaw, the only Scareclaw that actually does anything. Anyone playing fewer than 3 is being silly, in my opinion. So we're gonna play 3 Scareclaw Rykard, and then for the little ones we're playing 2 copies of Acro, 3 copies of Astra, and 2 copies of Balone. So you can play 3 of any of these if you want. I prefer Astra because I think it's the one that I always want to have. But if you want Acro or Balone at 3, that's fine. But in my opinion, there should be 7 of the common Scareclaw monsters here. So 3 of one of them, 2 of everything else. And yeah, and then our last kind of Scareclaw engine monster here is Vicious Starfrost. And I'm playing this now, and I wasn't playing it before because of Vicious Astraloud. Vicious Astraloud is just a crazy piece of follow-up, a piece of, a combo piece using with Cross Sheep and all that. And I think because of Vicious Astraloud, you should play at least 1 Vicious Starfrost in your list. I'm not playing any more because you don't really get anything off of its effect to summon itself. You have to give up a monster to summon itself, and the Light Heart effect to bring itself back is once per duel. So if you ever come across 2 Vicious Starfrost in your hand, or 2 over the course of a game, that second one is just not going to have any value. So I think 1 is fine. It's searchable with the field spell. So that wraps up the kind of traditional Scareclaw stuff. And then we also have the Kashtira part. We are playing 3 copies of Fenrir. It's just an incredible card across the board, and not only does it search itself, but it also searches our Scareclaw Kashtira, which is a super nice piece of interaction with our opponent. We can use it to out like Dragoon. We can use it just as an extender, and it's just really solid all around. So I don't see any reason not to play 2 of these, and just this whole Kashtira package is quite nice for the utility. And moving on to the hand traps now, we're playing 3 copies of Droll. This format, you have to do it in order to have any chance against the big bad Superheavy Samurai deck. Playing 2 copies of Ash just for the branded matchup, and then 2 copies of Ogre. So I'm not maxing out on Ash and Ogre because I think they're low impact. They're only high impact against certain matchups, and you're not going to be facing those matchups all the time. So I only have 2 Ash, only have 2 Ogre. They're just okay, and I want to have some kind of hand traps, but I don't want to go overboard with the low impact ones. So that is going to wrap up the monster hand traps. And here I'll just show the 3 copies of Imperm as well. Imperm is just all around super good. So this is the other 3 for the hand trap lineup. So we're playing 10 hand traps in this 44 card build, and we're playing a couple other going second cards as well. So it's not totally, you're not totally screwed going second. Okay, moving on to the spell cards now. We're playing 1 copy of Terraforming, 2 copy of Scareclaw Planet, and 2 copies of Kashtira Planet. So I like playing Terraforming now that we have an option of field spells to search. Before, you could just search the Scareclaw Planet all the time with Lightheart, but now we can search for the Pressure Planet to search us our Fenrir, or to search the Scareclaw Kashtira. It's just a really solid card to have in your deck, and it just adds some good consistency. And speaking of consistency, okay, so this is going to be a little bit contentious, I feel like, but I think 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity is an excellent addition to the deck. Now, you may be like, oh my god, we are giving up the Reichardt free draw 1. Dude, okay, so this is the same argument as Prosperity versus Extravagance. Would you rather draw 1, or would you rather dig for the top 6 of your deck? I think Prosperity is the better way to go in a format where you need to see a Droll and Lockbird if you're going to be playing against Super Heavy Sam, or you need to find your Kaijus that you're siding in, or you need to find your, back row removal that you're siding in. I think Prosperity is super good and super useful for the deck. And just remember, like, just because you can't use Prosperity and Reichardt in the same turn doesn't mean you're never going to resolve your Reichardt draw. So you might not draw Prosperity, you might not get into Reichardt, your Reichardt might get negated anyway. You are going to, on your turn 1, most often go into Tryhard and search another Reichardt for follow-up. So the second Reichardt is going to resolve its draw because you'll have used your Prosperity turn 1. The conflict is just not enough to warrant not playing this amazing piece of consistency. If you're on a budget, Prosperity, easy cut from the deck, okay? These are whatever, $50, $60. I don't know how much they are right now. But yeah, easy cut is Prosperity to get down to 40 cards. But I think going over 40 to fit in the Prosperities is definitely worthwhile. So if you have them available, I would suggest playing the card. And then the last piece of consistency is a Rhoda. I do want to search Reichardt. I want to search Reichardt because I want to use the field spell to search Visa Starfrost to have both Reichardt and Visas in rotation to facilitate Vicious Astraloud plays. And therefore, now that we are really trying to turbo out Astroud, we want the Rhoda to search the Reichardt as much as possible. So yeah, that's our last piece of consistency. Now on to the remainder of the spells. I'm opting to play 2 Arrival. I've seen 3, I've seen 1. I think 2 is the way to go because you're gonna sometimes search 1 on turn 1, and because you search Reichardt for follow-up, your Reichardt on turn 2 is gonna want to search another Arrival. So I think 2 is the correct number. And then for defensive cards, we're going pretty ham on defensive measures. Because it's a hand trap format, we're playing 1 copy of Called By, 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent, and 3 copies of Crossout Designator. I think, Droll, Ogre, Impermanent Ash are the 4 hand traps that most decks are playing right now, and because we're playing them too, I think Crossout is a very strong card. Typically, Crossout is not that strong if not everyone is playing hand traps, maybe, or you know, if everyone's playing different hand traps. But in this kind of format where everyone is playing the same hand traps, Crossout gets a lot of value, and that's why I'm opting to play it. And this deck just hard loses to Droll and Lockbird. You can't even set up anything unless you have like Fenrir Pass. So yeah, Crossout is going to be very strong for us in this build. And then the last card in the deck is going to be 1 copy of Twin Saw. So unlike other builds that are playing Splash and Twin Saw, I think you should only play 1, first of all, because you only want to search 1. You can only search 1 with Rykart. And I think Twin Saw is by far the better option, especially now that Evenly is out of the format. I think Twin Saw is going to be great. Plus, you'll see in the extra deck there's like a minor piece of interaction with Twin Saw that's beneficial for us. So, yeah, I think Twin Saw is the way to go. You don't want to play 2 trap cards that are only live if you go first, because if you lose the dice roll, then 1 is going to be dead and it's going to be no fun. So, yeah, 1 copy of Twin Saw to round out the 44 card list. Again, if you want to cut it to 40, cut the Prosperities if you want. You can cut the Crossouts if you want to keep the Prosperities. It's up to you. There's a lot of kind of personal preference in this build, but I think that this is the list that I would go with. So yeah, that was the main deck. Now let's jump on over to the extra deck. Let me grab it out over here. Okay, extra deck. Extra deck, my new favorite piece, Vicious Astraloud. Amazing card. Okay, it's awesome follow-up. It doesn't require much setup. You just have to have a Visas and a Rykart in the graveyard, which if your turn 1 goes well, you're going to get it there anyway. On summon, it pops a monster and gains a whole bunch of attacks. So it's just a really big booty that can really help to break boards on turn 3 to push for a game. You also, on turn 1, can decide to go into this early and use it with Cross Sheep to facilitate getting something like Barone Appaloosa or Barone Tryhard or something of this sort. So Astroud is just a very nice piece of utility. Because we're only playing 1 Visas, there's only reason to play 1 Astraloud. If you want to play more Astraloud, then you'd have to play more Visas in your deck. So yeah, I'm just playing the 1 right now. On to the Link monsters. I'm playing 3 copies of Scareclaw Lightheart. Yeah, it's just your kind of go-to starter. If 1 gets negated, then you have 2 more to possibly go into search the 2 field spells. I think the 3 Lightheart is the way to go. On to the Link 2s. We're playing 1 copy of Cross Sheep, again, to combo with the Vicious Astraloud. 1 copy of Asa, the Earth Charmer. All of your stuff is Earth, including your Kashtiras. And if you can Asa and steal an opponent's Fenrir in their grave, and you can summon the Fenrir, search your own Kashtira stuff is really nice. Similarly, for Dark, we have Rykart as a Dark and Lightheart as a Dark, so we can summon a Dark monster in our opponent's grave and Link Climb into stuff like access codes, so that's going to be kind of nice utility. And then for the other Link 2s, we have 1 Nightmare Phoenix just for generic removal, just in case, and 1 IP Masquerena just for the same thing, pretty much. Just generic Link 2 to go into some fancy stuff. With the IP, we're playing 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn as a Link 3, 1 copy of BLS Link as a Link 3. I think this card is kind of nice. We are playing a 5-card Kashtira package, well, I guess 7 to 8 with the Field Spell Searchers, so it's fairly easy to go into this and get its protection, and it can out a lot of stuff that Tryhard is going to have a hard time outing, so I think just having that utility is kind of good. And then 2 copies of Tryhard. I don't really think we're going to be going into more than 2 very often. Maybe you can play 3 if you really prefer. And then for our Link 4s, 1 copy of Access Code just to close games out or to clear boards, and then 1 copy of Appaloosa for the Cross Sheep Astraloud combo. You can end on Appaloosa Barone, which is kind of nice. And speaking of Barone, I don't have one, so I'm playing 1 copy of Swordsoul Shenying as my level 10 Synchro. If you have a Barone, please play Barone in this slot, but I don't have one to show you guys right now, so Shenying is the next best bet. And as I said earlier, we are playing Twin Saw and Chen Ying will activate off of Twin Saw. So if we banish our own Twin Saw to when we control a Link monster, then we can activate Chen Ying to banish some more stuff from our opponents. So that's kind of nice. A little piece of fancy interaction, but just in general, Chen Ying's a really nice card. If you want, you can play, if you have access to them, you can play Chaos Angel, or you can play Dispatter, or you can play Ruddy Rose, or you know, Barone is the clear option. There's nothing better than Barone in the game for level 10 Synchro. So yeah, that's going to round out our 15 card extra. Let's scoop those up really quick and go into a quick side deck discussion, and then we'll shuffle it up and do a test hand maybe. So yeah, for our side deck, again, side deck is specific to your local meta, whatever you are expecting to be playing against, but here's an example side deck. This is what I would side for my locals, starting off with 3 copies of Gamma Seal just to deal with the Purrely, to deal with the Towers type stuff, Arise Hard Pass, and so forth. Yeah, Santa Claus would probably be better, but I don't have them. So Gamma Seal is going to be what we're going to go with. 1 copy of Ash for the branded matchups. We just want to max out on the 3 Ash in our deck. 3 copies of Magnamut plus 2 Druis Worm. I really like the Bestial package for the Math Mech matchup, and just for a variety of stuff like Dragon Link, or even Labyrinth now with the furniture build. You can really kind of take advantage of some Bestials. So Bestial just hits a wide range of stuff, and I think they're great side deck cards. 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More to deal with big boards. I don't know what you're going to run into, like Sprite maybe, or you know, maybe Naturia Runick or something, but Dark Ruler is going to be kind of nice. And then our back row removal, 2 Cyclone and 1 Harpies. You can also play 3 evenly matched if you prefer, but I like the quick play options, plus Duster is going to be fine. You can also play Lightning Storm, that's going to be fine as well. So whatever you want to play for back row removal, but I would dedicate 3 slots to back row removal. Luckily, we have some in-engine back row removal with the Primitive Planet Field spell and Twin Saw as well. So, and then, you know, kind of pseudo back row removal with Fenrir if it's face up back row. So we don't need too much in the side deck, but I still think having at least something in your side for back row is going to be beneficial. So that's going to be it for the main extra inside. Now let's jump on over into a couple test hands just to see how the deck plays out. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle up here a little bit, do a little extra shuffling because it was sorted for the profile, but other than that, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this deck. I think it's a really nice budget option. If, you know, even if you can't afford the Prosperities or the Fenrirs or the Pressure Planets, that's okay. I think pure Scareclaw with a lot of hand traps, 3 of each Scareclaw monster is going to be kind of nice. Defanging is a nice budget alternative because having the pops is really good. And you might even consider a going second Scareclaw list if you're on a budget, because you can just fill up those like stuff like Fenrirs and planets with just more hand traps, more board breakers, and just go for a kind of turbo out try-hard with the piercing, you know, multiple attacks, and maybe even go for games. So that's something to consider as well. I was playing going second Scareclaw for just a little bit, just because there's a lot of decent going second options in the deck. Like I said, defanging is kind of nice, but yeah, so just don't rule those out. If you're on a budget, that's all right. We're going to still be able to play this deck. So, all right, I think that's sufficiently shuffled. Let me put my deck here and my extra deck maybe over here, and let's go ahead and draw out 5 cards. Pressure Planet, Primitive Planet, Imperm, Reichardt, and Talents. So that's going to be our 5-card hand. So let's go ahead and start with a Pressured Planet here. Of course, this is Fantasy Yu-Gi-Oh! Where there's no hand traps. So Pressure Planet is going to, of course, search us our Kashtira Fenrir. Let's search the Fenrir and just summon it and use effect to search the copy of, let's see, Scareclaw Kashtira. Okay. All right, now we can, let's see. We can summon Reichardt, of course. but I'm not sure if we want to be using effect right now. Let's calculate really quick if we're going to be able to resummon Reichardt later. Planet is going to search visas. Visas is going to, we're going to have visas, Lightheart, and no, we're going to have to use effect now to get a rival to bring the Reichardt back. Yes, okay, so we're going to have to bring the Reichardt back. So we're going to have to search the arrival now, or else we're just not going to be able to summon Reichardt again, because we're not going into Tryhard with this hand. We could go into Tryhard Fenrir with a Reichardt draw, or we can go for the Appaloosa Barone, and I'm just going to, in order to show the combo, I want to just go for the Appaloosa Barone here. So we're going to link off the Reichardt here to summon a copy of Lightheart. Lightheart effect, and hopefully we get hand trapped here to stop us from hitting the field spell, because we already have one of the field spells in hand. So that's going to be kind of nice if we get hand trapped on that, like Ashed or Impermed. But anyways, so we have Primitive Planet now. Let's go ahead and activate it over the Pressure Planet here and use it to search a copy of Visa Starfrost. Add the visas to our hand. And now let's activate our copy of visas targeting, or I don't know if it targets. Does it target? Yes, we're going to target the Lightheart. So we're going to summon the visas here. Lightheart will go to grave, and then we'll activate our Lightheart effect to summon itself back. So now we have Lightheart ready to go. And now let's use Scareclaw Arrival to summon our copy of Reichardt. So now we're going to Synchro Summon 10 into our level 10 Synchro of choice. Preferably Baronne de Fleur, but I am playing a Chen Ying right now, so Chen Ying is going to be. And now we are going to have to, let's see. Now we're going to link one again from Lightheart into another Lightheart. Let's put it here. Let's put Chen Ying under the extra monster zone as well. No other Lightheart effect because we don't have any more planets, but we needed this Lightheart in grave to summon our Scareclaw Kashtira by banishing this other Lightheart. So I'll put a banish pile. I'll just put it off screen, but one Lightheart is banished, and then we can link two with our Scareclaw Cash and Scareclaw Lightheart. I don't know why my extra deck is face up over here, but here's our graveyard. We're gonna link two into Cross Sheep here. Wait a second. I foresee an issue. If we summon Astraloud under the Cross Sheep, we have nothing to summon back anyway. So that was kind of silly. Instead, let's go for IP. And now we can go for the Astraloud summon by banishing these to summon Astraloud. There we go. And now we can go link 3 into Appaloosa, which is indestructible. So we're just gonna go for that and settle for that because we didn't open any small Scareclaw monsters, which is unfortunate. But now we have Appaloosa with 3 negates, indestructible because of IP. We have a Chen Ying, we have Imperm and Talents with a planet for follow-up. So not terrible, but not great. It's because we didn't open a small Scareclaw. The small Scareclaw would have really let us have a better field, to be honest. So anyways, that's one test hand. Let's go through and do one more. I'm gonna do a quick shuffle. Don't have to go too ham because we kind of already shuffled. And that'll be it. Now let's go ahead and draw our hand. We have Fenrir, nice, Imperm, Reichardt, Crossout, and Crossout. So this is going to be pretty much the same hand that we just had. So I'm just gonna scoop that up and redraw because last turn we just started with Pressure Planet plus Reichardt, and that's basically just Fenrir plus Rykart. So it's going to be the exact same hand that we just had, exact same board. Let's do one more. Prosperity, Ash, Rhoda, Balone, and Fenrir. So this is a really nice hand. Let's go ahead and start with the reinforcement of the army, searching a copy of Rykart to our hand. Nice. Okay, so let's put that in the graveyard. So we have, right now we have Prosperity, Balone, Ash, Fenrir, Rykart. So let's just deck thin a little bit. Let's go summon Fenrir, activate effect to search Scareclaw Cache. Add the Scareclaw Cache to our hand. Now let's normal summon the Balone, and then link summon right away into Lightheart. Now we'll go Lightheart effect to search the field spell. Where's the field spell? Here it is. And now we'll activate the field spell and use effect to search the Vicious Starfrost. From here, we are going to activate the Vicious Starfrost. Right? Do we want to do that? Yes. Vicious Starfrost, targeting the Lightheart, destroy. Now we can bring the Lightheart back, and now we can special summon the Rykart, or we can hold it. It doesn't matter. Or no, I guess we do have to special the Rykart. This is an unfortunate situation where we do conflict. We have to decide, do we want the draw one or to use the pot? So because we only have Ash right now, and we have so much engine, I'd rather use the pot to ensure we get another hand trap or another interruption, rather than go for the random draw, because if we draw into more engine, there's nothing we can do with it. So I'd rather have the Prosperity. So let's go Rykart effect, only search, not draw, and let's search for the let's see here. We can either search for Arrival or for Twin Saw, and I think Twin Saw is going to be a little bit better here. We have enough gas as is. Where the heck is my Twin Saw? There it is. But that does mean we have to end on a copy of, or a Scareclaw card. So we do have to keep that in mind. Let's relink the Lightheart into another Lightheart to search another field spell as well. So obviously we're deck thinning a lot. We would have lost to Droll, or had a very hard time through Droll at least. Don't forget to relink your Lightheart, as someone reminded me in my combo video before, because it's not once per turn. So yeah, we have this for follow-up, which is kind of nice. Now let's go ahead and Synchro 10 into a copy of a Synchro 10 of your choice. So Barone in theory, but we have Chen Ying for now, and that's going to be not so bad. And from here, let's see our hand. Okay, in this case, let's see. We have a few options. We can go for an Appaloosa, we can go for a Tryhard, or we can go for... Yeah, I guess those are the two options, Appaloosa or Tryhard. Because we searched Twin Saw, I think Tryhard's going to be a little bit better than Appaloosa right now. So let's special summon the Scareclaw Cache by banishing the Lightheart here. And now let's link 2 into Cross Sheep. So we could have just linked Fenrir, Scareclaw Cache, and Lightheart into our Tryhard and just saved the Astraloud play for follow-up. That's another option, but I'd rather have Fenrir out right now. Now let's go ahead and summon Astraloud by banishing the Visas and the Rykart here. And now we can use Cross Sheep to summon back our Balone. And then with, we can link 3 or link 4 here with Astraloud, Cross Sheep, and Balone into either Appaloosa or Tryhard. But like I said, Tryhard is going to be nice. because it will search us more follow-up. This is not in my hand. This is banished. Okay. Because we have Twin Saw and because we want to leave a Scareclaw on board, we're going to go for the try-hard play. This goes to defense mode, of course. This is banished. I'm just going to leave the banished pile off screen. Here's my graveyard. Okay, so now we go for try-hard effects. We're going to summon back the Balloon and then search a Runick for follow-up. And now we still have a rival in deck for next turn. So right now we have Tryhard Fenrir, level 10 Synchro, and a Balloon on field with a 5-card hand. We have Prosperity, Ash, Twin Saw, Planet, and Runick. So we have a lot of follow-up. Now let's finish off by activating Prosperity to dig for our favorite, I guess, interruption. So because we already have an established board and we want to keep some utility in the extra, we're going to just banish 3 here, and I think that's going to be fine. So we're going to banish a copy of Dark because Darks are not very common in the meta compared to Asa. We want to keep the Asa for sure. We're going to banish a Nightmare Phoenix, and then our last banish will probably be Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. It's between that and Nightmare Phoenix, but I think BLS Link is going to be fine. So let's banish 3 to reveal 3 off the top with Prosperity. And our reveals are Talent, Scary Cash, and Pressure Planet. So it's pretty much our choice of follow-up here. If we did get hand trapped this turn, Talent for sure is the way to go, and then we could rip a card from their hand. But otherwise, I think the Pressure Planet is going to be good. Because Pressure Planet will just get a Scareclaw Cash anyway, but if they clear our whole board, we can just search another Fenrir, which is going to be nice. So it's up to you if you want Talent or Pressure Planet in that case, but yeah, we're gonna end on Pressure Planet. That way we have a ton of follow-up. We're gonna set our copy of Twin Saw. We have Ash, Twin Saw, Tryhard Fenrir, and our level 10 Synchro Interruption. So not too shabby, of course, with 4 cards in hand, and the Field Spell Pop, and Scareclaw Balloon. But anyways, pretty solid hand. We did go plus big time, and yeah, I think this deck has a lot of potential to do that regularly. It really does not take much to combo. It's fairly consistent. There's so many consistency cards in this deck that I think it's going to be just fine. This is why I just recommend going for Reinforcement of the Army, because you're going to want to use that Field Spell Search to get to your Visa Starfrost to facilitate your Vicious Astraloud plays. So yeah, that'll be it for this deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, the usual, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully for some more Scareclaw content, but I'm also going to be trying out some other decks, so make sure you stick around and follow the channel so that you can catch up with the new decks that I'm learning. We'll see you guys later. Thank you.